Hi, this is Marcellus Lindsay from I2I Services, and I'm here with a little 2-minute story called The Whole Solution. It's an old parable, but a new business take on that parable. And if you're the kind of person who on occasion you feel like you're in a bit of a hole and you'd like somebody to help, then this is something that you may find enjoyable and also gives you a little bit more insight on your situation. The story goes like this. You see, there was a man on a journey going from where he was at that particular time to where he wanted to be. And he, just because he's focused on reading and on doing and on learning, was traveling along the path. But he didn't actually notice that there was a hole. There was a hole right ahead of him that he was unable to see. And as a result, instead of going on the journey in the way he wanted to go on his journey, he ended up taking a little bit of a detour. As you can imagine, the detour was down the hole, which is not where he wanted to be. So this man who had all these visions, these hopes, these dreams, ended up in the bottom of a hole, calling out to get help. So he's calling out and his message is going up and people can barely hear him. He's kind of saying, help! He wants some help. He's calling out from the bottom of the hole and he's trying to get out. It's slippy, it's wet, it's dark. And he's just calling out. He's just hoping that somebody will come by on that same journey that will be able to help him out of the hole. All in all, it was not a good place to be, because he had told people about the journey and he'd said, hey, I'm going on this journey and I can make it by myself and I don't really need anybody. And to be in this position was, to be honest, a bit embarrassing. But he continued to call out, but the hole from the bottom, as he looked up, he had to say to himself, you know what? I'm going to call out and that's the only hope that I have. And he just had to look from the bottom of the hole to the sky above in hopes that something would happen soon. So from the bottom of the deep dark hole, the man continued to cry out, hoping that somebody who was on the similar journey would actually hear him and be able to help him. Then he heard a bit of a rustle, he heard a bit of a noise, and all of a sudden he saw a face at the top. A face of somebody who was peering down the hole saying, hey, who's down there? You okay? I heard you calling out. And he's like, well, yeah, I need some help. I'm in a hole. Can you really help me? And the man's like, oh, of course, I'm on a similar journey. And in fact, what I found is that if you actually think your way out of it, it can solve all the problems. He's like, think my way out? He's like, yes, of course. In fact, I can teach you that technique. So why don't you send me a few dollars, send me a few pounds, and say, hey, I will show you that technique and you can think your way out of the hole. He's like, well, I've got nothing to lose. So he threw up the few dollars that he had in his pocket and he said, okay, now teach me these techniques. So the man said, okay, what you have to do first, you need to concentrate. You need to recognize that, hey man, this is all about the way I'm thinking. And if I change the way I'm thinking and just change my mindset, I'll be free from the hole. In fact, I'll teach you these exercises. Here's what you do. Close your eyes real tight. Concentrate. There you go. And now it's time for you to be free. Take the time to be free and just be free, be out of the hole. The man goes, wait a second. Okay, I've done that. And to be honest, I do feel better. I feel better, but I'm still in the hole. And the man at the top of the hole said, okay, well, I don't know really what to do. See, my job was to teach you the technique. So I think you'll just have to continue doing what I'm saying and maybe sooner or later you'll be out of the hole. And with that, The man was gone. Next, he figured, okay, I'm going to keep on doing this. I'm going to try and think my way out of it, and eventually it will all sort itself out. But he says, you know what? Maybe I should be still calling for help. So I'm going to continue to call for help. I'm going to call out and see if maybe somebody else will help me. And soon enough, and sure enough, there was somebody else that showed up. And soon he heard and saw somebody else at the top who said, "Hey man, what you doing down in the hole? You're stuck, are you?" He's like, "Well, yeah, I'm definitely stuck and I definitely need help, and I've been trying to think my way out of it, but it's just not working out for me." So he says, "Okay, well, actually, it's all about methodology, right? What you got to do is you got to have some tips, tools, and strategies, and these alone will help you get out, man. And I can do that because, hey, that's what I do. I can just tell you how." So he says, "Well, I can tell you how. Okay, you can tell me how, and I'll get out. I would really appreciate it." He goes, "Well, how much you appreciate it? Maybe if you just send him a few dollars, send up a few pounds, and I'll be able to sort that out for you. I will send you and give you a book on how to do this. How about that?" He says, "Well, okay, well, I only have a little bit of money left. I already spent all my money on trying to change my mindset, and I think maybe if I just know how to, maybe this will help me." So the man says, "Okay, well, here we go. Send up your money. You've done that. Thank you so much. Now, what I need you to do is I need you to read the book, right? Read the book and actually start to apply. Yeah? And what I'll do is I'll leave you to, let me see, I'll give you about 6 weeks, and I'll come back and check on you and see how you're doing." It's like, well, wait a second, but I have the book. It's kind of dark. Things are changing. I need more help than just a book. So, well, again, man, that's not my job. I was here to kind of tell you how. So, like I said, I'll maybe on the way back, I'll check on you and see how you're doing. And in an instant, he was gone. And the man's like, okay, so I have the mindset. I know, I'm aware of what to do, but I'm still in the hole. How come I'm still in the hole if I already have the mindset, or I feel I have the mindset, and I do feel better, and I know how? Why am I still in the hole? Then, just when the man was about to give up hope, he heard something else at the top. And another person looked in, kind of said, "Hey man, I see that you're in a hole. What can I do to help?" And the guy's like, "Well, listen, I only have a little bit of change left on me. I'm hardly even able to just take this anymore. I actually need some practical help. I don't just want to know about thinking about it. I just don't want to know the techniques. I actually need some help." And the man's like, "Okay, that's perfectly fine. So how about you just step aside?" Like, what do you mean step aside? Now, the reason the man had actually asked him to step outside of the hole, or to step aside, was because of the fact that the man was doing something very unique and quite unexpected. What the man was doing was, the man wanted to make room because he actually jumped down into the hole with the man who was stuck there. And the man was like, "Wait a second, are you crazy? Do you realize what you've just done?" He's like, "Well, absolutely." He was like, "Well, I don't have that much money left, and I'm kind of running out on hope. So both of us being down in the hole is not going to be very helpful." But the third guy said, "Hey, that doesn't really matter. Let's work together. Let's partner on this, because the thing is, I know about the mindset, and I know about the methodology, and I've been in this hole before, and it's not a pleasant place. And together, I know how we can get out and continue on that journey to get to where you always imagined yourself being able to get to. Let's work together, and that's the way out of the hole, and that's the whole solution." So I hope what you gathered from this story is that it's not just about being in a hole. It's actually about having the whole solution from beginning to end. More than just an idea, more than just knowing how to, but having a partner that will help you get out of the hole, get the freedom, and be able to move on your journey. And who knows, maybe you'll be able to be the whole solution for somebody else.